The Premier League title race has taken another fascinating twist. League leaders Arsenal threw away a 2-goal lead to draw at Liverpool. This result means that there are now just 6 points separating them and defending champions Manchester City, who have a game in hand. Have Arsenal thrown the EPL title? That's what we are going to discuss in this live. Hello and welcome to WION Sports Xtra. I am Nikhil Mathur, and as always I am joined by my sports editor Digvijay Singh Deo and by my colleague Vidur Kathuria. So Arsenal have not won at Anfield in 12 years. How do they look at this result? Do they see that they have dropped 2 points or they earned a point?
Well, it's difficult to say. At the position where they were in, 2 goals up at Anfield, and then to draw, could be, hardcore fans would say, oh, you know what, it's points sort of dropped. But I think the way Liverpool went at them in the second half, they were completely dominant, and Arsenal had the chances as well, but Liverpool had many more chances. Another Salah had a couple. Salah could have just had a hat-trick of just goals without the penalty. The penalty missed. So I think Nunez was one-on-one. At
Konate
the end, Konate, just an unfamiliar position to be in. A defender doesn't sort of realize that when the ball comes, you chest it away from goal. So perhaps that played into his mind or whatever happened there. So Arsenal lucky to take 1 point. As far as the entire championship goes, a lot of people obviously in the commentary saying advantage Man City, and you'll expand on that. But I don't think so, and I'm going to expand on it in a bit more.
I think it can actually be a point earned for Arsenal because the way the game went. Obviously, the Arteta also made that point after the match that when you're 2 goals up against any team, you would expect to close the game out. But I think the Anfield factor in the second half, and also that slight altercation between Granit, Xhaka and Trent, Alexander-Arnold, as it has done in the past, riled up Liverpool and sort of galvanized the entire stadium.
Yeah, the moment Anfield goes, sort of then the players respond.
And that's exactly what happened. If you remember the last Liverpool-Arsenal game at Anfield, it was actually a very close game, and suddenly a scuffle or a fight broke out between the 2 managers, Klopp and Arteta, and then Liverpool smoked them. They ended up winning 4-0. So in that way, and obviously Granit Xhaka sometimes can be a little bit of a hothead, but overall...
You see the passion.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but, you know, passion also, you have to channel that in a manner, especially
but
at
what does it tell you about Liverpool that you needed somebody riling up your player to have that passion? They were awful in that first 30 minutes.
Of course, first 30 minutes, unacceptable. The defending is, just mentioning a couple of things about Liverpool, just defending really was...
Van Dijk assisted that goal.
Atrocious. The first goal and the second goal, the amount of space that you're offering Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus, both of them were
just in between the two defenders.
They were lucky also at the end in the second half of the counter attack.
Yes, very
Liverpool
open.
Could have conceded
very
two in
open.
The last 15.
I think Van Dijk especially needs to sort out his game because now time and time again he has been caught out. He has made individual errors that have cost Liverpool.
So that's a big statement, remember what you just said.
Yeah.
Van Dijk will have to sort out.
Yes, but that's true. I mean, no, there's no doubt that in his since he joined, and till about last summer, he was outstanding, world class, arguably the best centre back in the Premier League or even world football. He was central.
The ACL slowed him down.
But last season he was outstanding, and I think he had the injury before the Euros. So, and he came back, and last season he was phenomenal. Along with Alisson, Liverpool had a fantastic defensive record last season. So, he can come back. You know, you're allowed to have a poor season, and especially given the great form he was in before. But yes, I think he should use this summer and just, you know, he just needs to rework himself. That's it.
So the month-end clash between City and Arsenal, do you think that is going to be a title decider?
I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. So a lot of people saying that, okay, Arsenal 6 ahead, City have a game in hand. So they win that game in hand, possibly 3 points difference. Then they go and play at the Etihad, and you know, but at the Etihad, it's going to be a 4-goal, 5-goal affair. Then Man City win, and you go on, and from there, it comes down to your head-to-head, on which all parameters, Vidur tells me that Man City are ahead. But this is where I think Arsenal still have an advantage. Arsenal are no longer in any other competition. So Arsenal are going to play weekends or midweek, whenever the matches are, and then they're going to have a break. City don't have that luxury. And if you look at the Arsenal City game, it comes before or after the Champions League quarter final. Is that also
26th, yeah.
I think
just
it will
the previous
be,
weekend?
Yeah.
So you have to factor that in. And you sort of see these kind of, for City, you know that the Champions League is the holy grail.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy draw, right? They've got Bayern Munich. Right? They play tomorrow.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes, yes.
First leg.
First leg tomorrow, and then, I
So,
think the game is just before
second
that.
leg, the second leg is on 19th April, which is just
One week,
yeah.
1 week before.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's good for them. But I just think that City have many more games than them.
Yeah, for sure.
And Arsenal,
Yeah.
it's going to come down to how does Arteta manage the expectations of his squad. In this entire run, I just think two people are crucial. The additions of Zinchenko and Jesus has sort of given Arsenal that sort of impetus, that they know how to win. These boys know how to win a title. That's helped them. And now it's going to come down to the manager. Okay, I can say that Arteta's never won anything himself, but sort of especially his
Didn't win the
Everton
league.
and
He won a few cups.
he won a few cups. But I just think that it's not over. I don't think it's over, and I honestly think that in the long run, it could obviously come down to City winning on all the goal difference. But I just think that yesterday's point could actually prove to be very crucial.
What?
Yeah, I think it can. If you look at, let's take a look at the remaining Premier League games of the two sides. West Ham,
Arsenal,
you
right?
would say,
That's Arsenal.
yeah.
So
West Ham, you would say Arsenal,
Yeah.
3 points.
Southampton,
Arsenal,
3 points.
Southampton, 3 points. Of course, then you have that big game, Man City, Arsenal,
I think
which
they'll beat Chelsea.
they should beat Chelsea, especially at home. Newcastle United again. These
Tough
two
game.
games.
different game.
Newcastle is a tough game.
Newcastle tough away game. Newcastle
Probably a
have
point there.
very
And that game can be
No, if it's a point, then the title's over.
Yeah, that's what. I think that can be a crucial tie.
I think
As
100%.
they say, Vidur, they have 8 cup finals coming up.
Yes. 8 cup finals. And Newcastle, I think Arsenal can still go and get a win there. I mean, they have had a good record against the big sides. Decent record against the mid-table teams and big side. Arsenal, Brighton, you would say Arsenal should get 3 points. Nottingham and Wolves. Again, so basically...
But hang
if you-
on. Nottingham and Wolves is
Yes,
a
yes,
relegation
yes, relegation battle, of
threatened
course.
teams, right? So they, towards the end of the season where every point matters,
Yeah.
that could be sort of crucial. Because when you've got nothing to lose, your back's against the wall, survival in the league is worth a lot of money. So that has to be factored in.
And
I don't know, who
it's-
does City have? Leicester,
they have
who are
easier
in free
games.
fall, who also are in
Yes.
quandary. You don't have a manager as of now, do they? No, not yet.
No. Talks are on with Jesse March, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Leeds again in that battle. Everton is actually a difficult game for City.
Yeah.
Not nice.
Yes.
Difficult to
Yes. I think
beat. And also the Chelsea game.
if
The
Arsenal
Chelsea game, by
yes,
that time, Lampard will have
had a few games.
Games.
many more than a few
The
games.
thing is that Chelsea do not really have anything to play for in the league. So they might, I don't know, he might want to try a few players, or we don't know the kind of approach they will have
He's a
for that game.
former
Of
City man
course,
himself, right?
of
Frank
course,
Lampard.
yes, scored a goal against Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think that game against Man City at the Etihad, if Arsenal can get a point,
Yeah, that would be huge.
get a point, it'll be huge, and it will really
Detrimental in the.
yeah, it will really like galvanize them for the rest of the season.
A lot
And
of wins. You know, my
Yeah.
point here is City know how to win titles. Of
course. Yeah.
And that's what is in their favour. So, you know, even against Liverpool last year, there was a point when Liverpool were ahead, right? But City
Yeah.
still went on and won the league. You look at these fixtures and say, can City win 2, 4, 6, 8 in a row? Yes, they can.
Yes,
They
they can. They
Can Arsenal win 8
Manchester
in a row? We don't know.
We
that.
don't know exactly.
Manchester City have proven over the last 4 under Guardiola that they can go on a 15 match winning run, and which they have. They won 14 matches in a row I think it was 3-4 seasons ago.
Last year.
Last year they went on a run.
They were 7th or 8th or even below that.
Yeah. I remember, I think it was the 2018-19 season. They won 14 matches in a row to win.
Well,
the
Liverpool also didn't lose.
Yeah,
It was just 1 point all throughout.
And of course, last season again, the pressure.
1920 season.
Yeah. No, 1920 was
Liverpool.
with Liverpool.
18-19.
Yeah, 18-19 season. So the pressure, they almost thrive off the pressure, and they're, they won the Premier League title 4 of the last 5 seasons.
No, they're the best team in Europe. Let's be very honest. In terms of consistency, they're the best team in Europe. The Barcelona, the Real Madrids of the world, even the Bayerns of the world don't have that sort of thing. You have something for us? Excellent.
Yeah, I think we have. Keep your comments in, and we will take all of them.
Mitchell says for sure. Wisdom says not yet. We still have hope in the Gunners. Thank you for that. Ene Belly says Arteta shouldn't have boasted on taking on Liverpool. He should have remained silent, especially when every point now for them is crucial. His overly confident interview only rekindled the flame in Anfield and those players.
Interesting point.
But I kind of disagree to it, because that's how
I don't know if I would call it boasting.
Yeah.
But
every manager
he has
posts up his team, right?
Of course, he has the right to be confident. The Premier League leaders, I mean, they want to win.
They're
And
the leaders for a while.
yes,
City are
of
doing
course.
the chasing. City have dropped points, not them.
Yeah. And, if you asked anyone this question before the season, that will Arsenal be leading the Premier League table in April? We're in April. So, I mean, no one would
They've
have
already
said
punched above their
Let's
weight.
also give
They've
them
already-
credit. People thought, they're going to be there for 1 month. Then it became 2 months. Then it became 3. There was a point where City went ahead. I think when City won that game, right? At the Emirates?
no, I think it was before that.
There was one point where City went ahead, right? And Arsenal still had a game in hand, and then all that sort of worked in. But credit to this group that they've taken it into April. And we're looking at this going down to the last week like last season.
I'd like to make one point. If you turn the clock back to last season, Arteta and Arsenal were in a similar position, but they were in the top 4 race.
Yeah.
And no one expected them to be in the top 4 race last season, if you turn the clock back. And they collapsed. It was during this time, in April, they lost 3 games back to back. It was top 4th place was theirs. Yeah. They lost 3 games back to back.
That allowed United in, right?
No, Spurs, Tottenham.
Yeah, Tottenham. United played Europa.
Yeah.
But this has been a good season for Arsenal, irrespective of where they finished. They
But
punched.
also, I think we should give credit
to Arteta, of course.
Ultimately, if they go on and win the league, they need to throw a big party for Aaron Ramsdale. He was outstanding. And sometimes, Vidhu, it's these small margins which decide a championship.
There's always, they say that a good goalkeeper is worth almost 8 to 10 points a season. And that every Premier League title winning side has always had a goalkeeper who has made crucial contributions over the course of the season.
Exactly. Same thing Ferguson said. He said if you want to win a match, you have
Whenever
strikers.
you win a title,
and
you can look back at the season, reflect on the season, and can always go, we won the title there, and you'll ultimately see.
Why is the season title?
Yeah.
Sometimes the top 4, the Alisson header.
Exactly. So you can always look back at these moments, and if Arsenal ultimately win the league, the 2 saves that he made a number of saves as well, but the 2 saves he made
The one on Nunez and the Salah one.
No, the Konate one and the Salah one.
Outstanding. The Nunez one was.
Yeah.
He was bursting.
No, and their defense was good. If this was Manchester United, they conceded 7. Liverpool played with the same intensity, and United conceded 7, and Arsenal did not. They held their own. So they have a good defense, good midfield. So we have the results of a poll. Have Arsenal thrown away the title? 58% say yes, and no, 42%. That's it.
So this is the lot who's seen Arsenal collapse over the years.
I think
the typical Arsenal collapse.
I think the fans, it's also a reflection on how much confidence they have in Manchester City.
Yeah, probably that way.
But
so that's that.
So I think time will tell us the winner. But what's on our show at 6:30 p.m. IST?
The Masters, John Rahm has won a maiden green jacket. He's the 4th Spanish player after his idol, the late Seve Ballesteros, who incidentally would have celebrated his 66th birthday yesterday. Sadly, he is no more. His great friend, Jose Maria Olazabal, he's also won the Masters. There's also Sergio Garcia. He's the 4th Spanish player to win it. He's the first European to win both the Masters and the US Open. And we'll also tell you why all that talk about Liv Golf, sort of dusting off the players playing for Liv don't have the edge. Well, Brooks Koepka, yes, couldn't close it out, finished second. Guess who finished second with him? Phil Mickelson, who's 52. Patrick Reed was in the top 4. So Liv golfers have sort of
Made them
grabbed this opportunity at the Masters. They're sort of shooting up the world rankings, and I just think that the world rankings are irrelevant. As long as you don't, how can you say that Dustin Johnson is 118th ranked in the world? Come on, it doesn't work like that.
So yeah, and you must be living under a rock if you have not heard the name Rinku Singh.
Rinku Singh, the Pathan.
Yes. The man smoked 5 consecutive sixes in the last over to pull off a brilliant win for Kolkata Knight Riders. We'll have a detailed stack on that.
Do you remember the last man to hit 5 consecutive sixes? Not 6. Okay, we have Yuvraj Singh and all. Yeah. Do you remember anyone hitting 5 sixes? I do.
In international cricket or
in any form of cricket.
Dimitri Mascarenhas,
Yes.
Yuvraj Singh.
Dimitri Mascarenhas.
Yeah, he's
You
more.
hit 6.
And then Yuvraj.
Powell hit.
No,
Powell,
I
no.
think
What is the name?
Pollard
hit 6. We just had somebody in Sri Lanka hit 6. There's one of the Afghan boys hit 6 in a row as well. Yeah. So 6 has happened, but to win a game
In the final. And in the final over. So yeah, and big results in NBA who have...
Of course, the Golden State Warriors have gained that crucial final 6th automatic berth in the playoffs, and we're going to be looking at all the teams who have made it. LeBron James and the LA Lakers will be playing in the play-in tournament, so we'll be doing a detailed stack and explain a kind of thing on what exactly the play-in tournament is and the playoffs, and a look ahead to the playoffs. So all that and more at 6:30 p.m. IST.
And also at 7:10 we'll look ahead on Facebook, special edition of WION Sports Xtra with Vidur Kathuria and hopefully Shivashish Nandi on the game coming up later this evening in the IPL.